switch to this deck. Probably not a trophy race deck, but looks pretty fun. So the idea here is that we are trying to use Archway of Innovation as backup way to cast Emrakul in the Goryo's list. So you're going to be able to just Goryo's your Emrakul, but you can also use Tamiyo meets the Story Circle, Academy Manufactor, Cookbook, Tamiyo to make a lot of tokens to give your Emrakul the Aeons turn Improvise and cast it. Tamiyo Story Circle I think is pretty cool too, where you can like discard Daredevil, bring back Daredevil, discards, turns on Asmo, and also puts a bunch of artifacts in play to also get Kappa Cannoneer, and the Kappa Cannoneer can get really big and crazy in this deck too. I think the deck looks pretty dang juicy, and I like as soon as I started playing this deck, the mono black deck, I'm like, wait, I built this other one. So I don't know. Let's just get in there. We're on the draw with a pretty slow hand. I think I'm gonna keep with the intention to play Saga turn 1, and then we have Manufactor, Saga, our Cookbook on turn 3. And then we can also draw an Emrakul and just throw an Emrakul at them. We're on the draw against Amulet. Would I have kept this hand? Maybe still would have. Just try to find Emrakul. Second Goryo is not the best draw. Turn 2, Saga. Alright, so if we can draw an Emrakul and we get, an extra look off the Surveil land, maybe. We're obviously in pretty decent shape. You remember when we used to feel like Asmo was good against Titan? Now they just like totally ignore it with Cultivator Colossus. Used to be like, oh, you're an Asmo deck, you just kill their Giants and your Titans. No Ugins Lab? No Ugins Lab in this deck. Should we play Ugins Lab? I'm kind of concerned about the color requirements and the lack of islands for our archways. But I do like that it powers out Manufactor. I like it with Urza Saga, but it's not like amazing with anything else really. 2 looks at an Emrakul. Could needle something. I think I don't really. I think I just have to hope the draw is kind of non-functional and that we get to take over the game. Goryo's on Asmo. I don't know. I don't think there was a good line with Goryo's and Asmo. When was the last trophy race? I haven't trophy raced in a long time. I really had desire to trophy race in a long time. Last one was shortly post MH2. We did one more recent that I feel like. I've done 2 trophy races, one pre MH2, one shortly post MH2. How are we giving Improvised Emrakul with MH3 land, Archway of Innovation? Next spell you cast has Improvise. So I'm going to bring in the Haywire Mites. I'm going to cut the Nihil Spellbomb. I think I'm cutting the Pithing Needle too. Consign kind of isn't the worst. And I think I just want to cut... I mean, I'm bringing the Damping Spheres, obviously. But I think I'm cutting the Damping Spheres, and then I can play Vexing Bauble against Summoner's Pact, which is kind of narrow. I can play the first Needle. I can play the first Consign. I think I'll do the first Needle. Okay, so this is an awesome Tamiyo hand. And it's cool that we have the Archway of Innovation, and if we can, I think we can cast Emrakul on turn 3 if we draw 1 in the top 2, which is pretty dang cool. We'll be able to go, so we'll be able to Cookbook, make food, so that's 3 artifacts, and then Tamiyo meets the Story Circle can make a lot of our, like, 8 or 9? Close? Like, we're probably discarding the breeding pool. Discard, discard, discard. Whatever we draw is option. We'll see, we'll see. Consign doesn't sound awful against Saga Trigger, Ring, or Amulet. Yeah, I agree. Maybe we should, I think it's a good card against Titan, but maybe just not for this matchup. Consign doesn't stop Summoner's Pact, but you could be nice and counter there, lose the game trigger if you want to. Also, Tamiyo meets the Sword Circle plus Manufactor occasionally can go crazy, I think. Okay, so if I draw an Emrakul, I guess I'm only making 6 clues now because I played this. So I draw Emrakul, I have to keep this one, and then I make 6. Yeah, we'll be a little ways away still. Okay, picks up the Beseiju. Another one. I'll still discard it. Asmo would be nice to have. As it stands, we'll settle for making huge constructs. 3, 9, 10, 11. I think we're 1 mana short of Emrakul if we were to draw it. Second Dryad. Oh no, I can use the Saga token, so I think we actually have exactly enough to cast an Emrakul. But unfortunately, part of that would be drawing an Emrakul. Oh! No fucking way. Alright, so we get a cookbook, and then that'll be floating a mana, so playing a breeding pool. 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Really hope I did not miscount. Fuck. I did miscount. 11, 12, 13, 14. Damn it! No, I miscounted. I think it's better to not attack. Now we should have enough. 15 mana is a lot of mana, y'all. I guess I could have played the Archway and then attacked with the Construct, I suppose, but this is going to win. Is it maybe just not optimal, Ulamog or something? Maybe. I mean, it's like just a bit better to Goryo's this by itself. Like Goryo's Ulamog doesn't do much unless you exile something else. Archway gives you colorless for Madness Emrakul. I don't believe so. It might. I don't think you can improvise the Madness cost on Emrakul, but I'd be interested to hear if that's wrong. All right, game 3, click submit. Yeah, I don't think consigns are bad, but they're kind of hard to hold up in this deck. We have Damping Spheres and Haywire Mites and stuff. Yeah, this is turn 3. So you can use Tamiyo meets the Sword Circle also to set up for your Goryos and Emrakul. So if we can surveil into a land, we can throw an Emrakul on my Titan opponent on turn 3. It feels like a keep. With 3 looks at land number 2. They bounce the bog. They bounce the forest. Maybe they have a ring. Come on, land number 2. Land number 2. Yes. Fuck yes. Now I kind of wish I had that second Emrakul. So they do have a ring, it seems. But they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 permanents. So they'll stay at 20 life, but they'll have nothing. Land number 3. What did I do to get so lucky? So I'll discard second Goryo's Ovalchase Emrakul. And we'll stack the triggers so that my Ovalchase comes back to my hand first. And then hopefully we don't die to Endurance. Thankfully, no Summoner's Pact either. They just concede. Just fine. Is map too slow in the stack? I mean, I don't usually love map as a tutor target in Saga decks, but you could play it. I mean, we just have 4. And it's kind of like the backup plan to our Goryos anyways. But yeah, you'll be fine. It could be fine. A lot of Watery Graves in our opponent's hands today. Gorky, 6 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They might be playing. I guess not Dead After All probably means not Goryos, huh? I want to name Polluted Delta here. I think I might just actually Surveil. Definitely gonna keep a cookbook. Oh, not gonna concede the game yet. Make my Kappa Cannoneer top deck hopefully pretty good. I did want to name Polluted Delta. It's funny. I'll name Psychic Frog, I guess. It's kind of tough to name Delta when you got 3 more Deltas in our deck, too. How many clue tokens does Ovalchase make off Tamiyo? Confused. For every card you discard, Tamiyo meets the Story Circle. For every card you discard makes two clues. And so we just have a lot of triggers on the stack. But discarding Ovalchase Daredevil by itself doesn't inherently give us more cards than discarding anything else. So they can't give this flying. I mean, if they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell. But we may just be on, like, gain in life with food tokens, attack twice with Cannoneer. So good draws include Emrakul, non-Shockland, Asmo, Manufactor. I don't know how good Manufactor is. Taking 4. So I assuming we just go to 7. I guess I'm kind of pretty alive here unless they have another creature. I guess they could maybe kill their own grief. But then them not being able to grow the frog is a pretty big deal. Though I don't really have them on like a 2-turn clock. But I could draw a Manufactor for lethal now. A second Cookbook is pretty close. I think it's maybe one off. I'm at 9. They could flip the Tamiyo if they sack a clue. So now, if I draw Manufactor, I'm going to have 4 more triggers. Yeah, Manufactor is now 1 point short of lethal, I think. But if I just gain 6 more life, I don't know. I don't even know what they can do about it. Yeah, I mean, Tommy's not nothing here, but I just go to 9. This has Ward 4, is going to be unblockable next turn. Do this main phase because of Tidebinder. They can't activate the frog. I don't die if they kill their own grief. I think we're in good shape. Weird game. Yeah, I have Needle on Psychic Frog, so they can't discard stuff. What weapon should I invest my points in for Elden Ring DLC? I've been playing with this anvil that's like smoldering. It's pretty cool. And it isn't very good, I think, but it's been very fun. Modest, big raid. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate the raid, homie. Discard Tamiyo and Goryos. You want to Goryo's my Tamiyo instead of... I'm just going to gain 6 life here, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they beat me just gaining 6. Those twin swords are also sick. I've gotten pretty close to beating her a couple times. I didn't end up playing yesterday at all. Thanks again, Modest. I mean, if they have Murderous Cut, they could pay for Ward. Yeah, they just dead. Nice grief scam nerd. Obviously, Cookbook Cannoneer, very good top decks. I'm going to bring in the Fatal Pushes. I'm going to cut my Pithing Needle, despite it actually being pretty good that game. I think we're still cutting them. What else? What else? I'm going to trim the 4th copy of this card. Nihil Spellbomb is probably good enough to keep in. Could trim some Tamiyos. It's probably okay. Maybe even just want the 4th copy of this. I don't know. Trade this. I mean, hand needs a cookbook, but is kind of a cookbook or a saga away from greatness, and this is maybe an example of a hand that I would mulligan if Surveil lands weren't legal, but I can try to Surveil into one of these cards. If I play this with Time Sieve, do you promise not to make fun of you? You can play Time Sieve. I mean, it's maybe just a different deck, because I don't think it's great with, like, the Goryo stuff, you know what I mean? And so you don't get to, like, I don't know if you get to, like, Madness, or, sorry, Improvise Emrakul out with the deck. But you could play Tamiyo meets the Story Circle in a Time Sieve deck, I think. Would be totally fine. Okay, so we're looking for a cookbook. We're looking for an Urza Saga. Would I keep a Fatal Push? Don't have to make that call. Well, this hand did not get there. Consign for Grief Frog Tamiyo, or is Push this better? Yeah, I mean, Consign isn't good against any of those cards, I think. It's true for winning yourself against all of them. Like, what am I going to do? Counter their card draw? For one time? I'm not conceding yet. We're probably going to lose this one. It is kind of nice we didn't show them Goryo's Emrakul last game, did we? I guess we did show them Goryo's, actually. Bauble only worth on the play. I'm not even sure I want the bauble on the play. It's like, I don't know. If the card only stops grief, I don't love it. But maybe they have more. They probably have more pitch cards. And if I just draw a cookbook. Been pretty good at summoning stuff lately. Not this game. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, maybe Vexing Bauble is better than Nihil Spellbomb. Could get behind that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep this as like extra ways to cast the Asmo too. Yeah, on the blade. Another speculative keep. It's just a very tough matchup to mulligan in, you know what I mean? I'm gonna mulligan it. I'm gonna try to, try to find a hand that functions. And wow, we have the Vexing Bauble. Hand functions. Let's go. Could put back second Saga, but second Saga is probably pretty good. I guess I'm just gonna put back the Asmo. Solo them 2 Urza Sagas. I think the new thing that might be stronger than Scam Grief is Evoke Grief into Phyrexian Tower into Dothier Ripples. I don't think that that's necessarily stronger than Scamming Grief, because like it sounds like you should still have scam cards in that deck, but I do like Ripples. Ripples is cool. Maybe we should have Ripples in our mono black deck we just played. Not that Typebinder is super popular, but I will not lose to it here. Love for them to fatal push here. Nice. Just make my Urza Sagas 3-for-1s. Exactly the kind of game I want to be playing right now. And then it'll be like a long time to assemble Arch plus enough madness for Emrakul, but this is the kind of game that can go really long. And we do have like Ovalchase Daredevil to just make a ton of food tokens. Manufactor's a good draw. Tamiyo Story Circle is probably fine. Asmo's a good draw. Should be in good shape. Although I didn't hold up the Fatal Push. That should be okay though. Looking more okay now. Yeah, I really like how we're like a pretty good Goryo's deck, and we just have like Asmo, Manufactor, Kappa Cannoneer Plan B, so we don't mind Graveyard Hate so much. And then we also like can just cast our Emrakul off Archway, which is cool. But we are also only a couple matches in still. Let's give this one a go. Do you mind the Asmo cost is hybrid, or do you like the flexibility? I'm a big Asmo fan. Just because I'm a hater of the hybrid costing companions. I think I would not change a thing about Asmo. I think Asmo is an awesomely designed card. Asmo was kind of like the Nadu of MH2 in the sense that like it was the card. Asmo Urza Saga decks were what everyone was panicking about. Right with MH3's released. Oh, we're playing against a Goryo's Mirror. They're going to take 2 of my Goryos here, I think. Not queued for this Pro Tour, no. Do I enjoy these games of Magic, or am I just trying to build new things? I'm having, so for me, a big part of enjoyment with Magic is playing new things and new things going well. And it's kind of like, the main thing that gets me going, I guess, is that where I know I've done so much of like normal games of Magic to me are less interesting than trying to innovate and try to do something new. I really love to try to do something new because I've just kind of been around the block too much. But I've been enjoying MH3 gameplay in general. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so we are very good against this Ephemerate Rebound, although they just won't rebound it. Too bad I can't Graveyard Hate with this. Wish Asmo had Madness. Asmo would be so dumb with Madness. Be really wild. Oh, they rebounded? Okay. I guess that kind of makes me. Yeah, I guess I can make one less food. So they tap Godless Shrine, then they untap it, then they play Sewers. And then they pending the Tamiyo. Okay. Well then. Let's sack a clue. Because I think I'm just going to discard this rather than... Or I would discard it rather than use it. Then I think I just discard this, make 2 clues, get back Ovalchase Daredevil. A lot of good top decks here. And then I'm probably shuffling one of my 2 Goryos in with Chapter 3. Obviously, Chapter 3 is not the most relevant part of this card. Okay, does not discard a big thing. 3 cards left in their hand. Take another Tamiyo. Can flip Tamiyo next turn. She could buy me back Goryo's Vengeance. I guess not against the Grief, actually. How do I know opponents on Goryo's? This combination of like Grief, Ephemerate, and Esper colors with Faithful Mending means they're playing Goryo's combo. Like if you're Esper with Grief, Ephemerate, and oh, they also pitched Goryo's to Grief. That was also a big hint. Is there a best deck? I don't think there's a clear best deck. I think Ruby Storm, Nadu, Living End, Green Eldrazi, Colorless Eldrazi are like the front runners for me. We do have Nihil Spellbomb in the deck, so hopefully we can get that before they throw anything at me. Yeah, Jeskai's good. Blue-Red Wizards are good. I think that mono-white deck I played this morning, I really liked it. Well, maybe it's just better for tournament meta. Not that I would, not like top deck or anything yet. But I liked it. I would play it again. Boros is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. Alright, let's draw a card. Fun card. I'm kind of getting there on the hard cast. Or on the Improvise cast. See what happened to Tutors. Demonic Tutors had a back injury. It's been tough for him to stream with it, unfortunately. I haven't talked to him in a couple months, but that was the last update I heard. Thanks owned you for the 14 months again. Uh-oh. Atraxa is in the yard. How do you feel about the Goryos remade that got second? We talked about this yesterday. I kind of don't like Buried Alive in the deck. I don't think it's awful, but I'm not really a fan of it, I think. I think I probably just would not play Buried Alive package, and I don't think it's awful, but I just probably would play. I would play like Psychic Frog instead, and have that kind of be your plan B. That's pretty synergistic. Not attacking. One thing too is it's like, as someone who's won a modern challenge with Esper Reanimator, who's done like pretty well with all the Goryo's list. Goryo's decks are very, 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 very hard to evaluate because they just like if you just run hot, you're going to win. You are going to win if you run hot with your Goryo's deck. Don't take my Emrakul. which is a pretty good, you know, formula. Well, I can't. Goryo's my Emrakul this turn. Is Tamiyo required in Jeskai? I think Tamiyo is optimal in Jeskai. Like if I was going to play Jeskai, I would certainly recommend that you have Tamiyo. Yeah, I think we can just cast this next turn. I kind of keep the Goryos anyways. Yeah, Jun Saga seems to be doing good too. Do you think that Yawgmoth is essentially a worse version of Nadu? I think there's reasons to play Nadu and reasons to play Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth seems to be probably a little bit more resilient to hate pieces, and more resilient to sweepers, like Wrath the Skies. And Nadu is faster and maybe better against it's a lot better against Solitude decks for sure. I've been doing a Tamiyo Flame of Anor brew. Tamiyo Asmo Flame of Anor. I think that Flame of Anor is not a good Asmo card. Like obviously Asmo is a wizard. And we did it. We found some synergy. Asmo is a wizard. Interesting. So they put a Goryo's Vengeance into their hand here. So if they can find a second Goryo's, it's pretty bad for me. You know, but yeah, synergy found. Both wizards. I think I have played those two cards together once, but Flame of Anor is a lot better when you just have high card quality and lots of good interactive spells. But I can make any changes to Second Frog. I have so much fun with Fulminator there. I mean, I don't know if I would change a lot. The metagame could call for main deck Fulminator one day. So they just had another one already in their hand. Why didn't they cast it last turn if they had it in their hand? Kind of a bummer. Yeah, we could have exiled the graveyard before they untap, but the problem is they can rebound the Ephemerate on Archaeologist and just mill over another Atraxa or something, which I think is just probably too bad for us. And also it's like they had Atraxa in the yard last turn, and they didn't Goryos, so it's like they could have Goryos Atraxa last turn, and they just didn't before I had the Spellbomb in play. So I don't know. It seems like they've made a mistake. Or like, maybe that's not the right word, but it seemed like really reasonable to not play around their last card being another Goryo's. Okay, so they put Solitude, Thoughtseize, Shadowy Backstreet, and Ephemerate into their hand. They are main decking Frog over here, it seems. Notably, me casting Emrakul against Solitude won't be all that. They cast Archaeologist with that 1-mana open last turn. Yeah, but they didn't put Goryos into their hand off the Archaeologist, did they? Am I missing that? They did off the rebound. I'm scrolling up. Oh, they did. Oh no, sorry. For some reason I didn't realize that they had done that. Okay, sorry. We should have main phased the Spellbomb. For some reason I thought they put a different card in their hand. So they got Solitude, Thoughtseize, Shadowy Backstreet, Ephemerate, another Thoughtseize, a Faithful Mending, and a Colosseum, which means we're not being Thoughtseize this turn. I think we're one short of casting Emrakul. We have 9 artifacts in play. 10, 11, 12, 13. I think you're right. Gaining a lot of life at least. I think if I draw Manufacturer can do it. Oh, I guess not if they kill my Tamiyo. Okay, so I'm at 21 life. They have Ephemerate in hand, not an Ephemerate on rebound, but they are going to Thoughtseize me next turn. I did draw Manufactor. Is it better to improvise the Manufactor? I mean, I guess I should probably improvise Manufactor. And then this could maybe bait. I need to Goryo's Emrakul this turn, so I'm going to go next card to cast as Improvise, just to discount this by 1. Cast a Manufactor, and then I'm going to Cookbook, and I don't believe I know that they have a second Solitude. Although I guess they'll just, you know. Sorry, we have to discard here. Well, we got our Annihilator 6. Fun game. Will Tamiyo flip in this deck without a bunch of clue tokens? Will Tamiyo flip in this deck without a bunch of clue tokens? Like, clue tokens are the only way to flip it, yeah. But also she makes clue tokens for Manufactor, which is pretty cool. So my opponent's deciding I'm just going to go down to 2 life points. So I'm going to sack a clue token end of turn. Is my current plan. So whatever card I draw doesn't get thought seized. Very cool game here. They just Atraxa, so let's assume Infinite Solitudes. I mean, we saw the cards they got off Atraxa, and one of them was Solitude, and they used 1 Solitude, so I don't think we're supposed to assume Infinite Solitudes. They can't cast the Thoughtseize here. They could cast it if they Ephemerate Solitude and attack with Atraxa. They could also Grief me. They choose Solitude, Swamp, Force of Negation, and Buried Alive. They also just attack with a Solitude to cast it. Can you improvise to crack a clue? No, improvise is spells only. Pending my token. Evoke Solitude. Alright, let's sack a clue. Two more clue tokens. 6, 7. 1, so I'll have a 1, 2, 3, sorry. 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. 3, 4, 4 plus 9, 13. So I don't think there's almost any way I can cast Emrakul next turn. So I think I'll just sack this clue token, because I could draw Cookbook, I could draw Asmo, I could draw Goryos. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about the stupid Force of Negation. Damn it. Sorry about that. Got too excited. So I should have gone, I guess it's kind of awkward I can't go end of turn Emrakul. Now I'm getting this Cannoneer thought seized. Ugh. Big punt. Down to 6 life points. Still a lot of live draws. Some live draws. Okay, that's pretty good play, because now I top decked Asmo isn't good. Alright, any life gainers in the chat? Let's go to the 5, and then if I kind of just have to draw an Asmo, I think. I don't think there's another really good draw. Like, maybe I could draw Kappa Cannoneer and block Solitude for a turn. Could maybe draw Manufactor, but Asmo's at least the best draw. Maybe my opponent will deck themselves. They got 2 cards in their hand. I really don't think I like this card Cephalid Coliseum very much in these decks. So you're saying there's a chance. So I'll kill this on their upkeep, I think. Although I'm not sure, am I going to make another Saga token? Am I going to return a Kappa Cannoneer? Probably will just make more food tokens because I'll be running kind of low. Yeah, so Atraxa has Death Touch, so it kills itself here. My opponent has started to pay cost in their upkeep. I guess they have another copy of Goryo's. Kill it in combat. I wanted to play around draw and Ephemerate because they only have a few cards in their hand, but I mean I could also just kind of kill it in response to this. And they only have 9 cards in their library, so they can't like draw that many. Would you ever cast Ovalchase there? No, not in this spot. Not ever. We need it to make 2 food a turn. So they reveal the rest of their deck. They have a Prismatic Ending, another Goryo's, Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, they are in 11 minutes in game 1. Although last time I said this, we lost. How well do you think Fatal pushes position? I think push is one of the better removal spells for sure. It's good. All right, and they just concede. So 11 minutes down, going into game 2 down a game is tough for them. I'm going to bring in Vexing Bauble over Pithing Needle, and then Consign against Atraxa ETB is not the worst, but I don't know if that's like the game we want to play. Okay, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Push for Frog. We just have Asmo. We have Tamiyo, who's pretty good at blocking Frog. Okay, on the draw against Goryo's. What are we thinking? We have a Saga for Cookbook or for Nihil Spellbomb, which is pretty good. Let's give this one a go.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I think I'm gonna lead on the Saga. How did we win that last game? We used Asmo to kill their Atraxas, and then they just decked basically. It was a very odd game. Does Consign stop the sacrificing on Goryo's? It does. Yeah, I don't know exactly how important that is, but that's not nothing for sure. So obviously, if they just have turn 3 Goryo's, it's gonna be a tricky game. At least have the Atrax in the yard. We did make a pretty big mistake earlier that game. Any more Psychic Frog Nightmare action? You think that deck has legs? Yeah, I mean, I like that deck. I think that deck is good, and I will continue to play it, I think. But there's just like a lot of ways to build the archetypes, so I've just been like, I feel like that list is not solved, but like close enough to solved. Okay, they did not reveal an Ephemerate, so if they didn't already, if they have Indulgence, Atraxa, Goryo's, Ephemerate, naturally, it is what it is. They did reveal Wrath Disguise, which is scary. Do you think Night of Sweet Revenge could do something similar to this to improvise Emrakul? Maybe. I haven't really thought about building the deck more green based with Sweet Revenge, but could do something. They choose Solitude, Thoughtseize, Faithful Mending, and Delta, and then they're gonna Thoughtseize me. And they didn't take Wrath Disguise. Don't know how I feel about that. Do you want to make food end of turn? I don't think so. Not in this spot. Alright, only gaining 5 life, then... So they still have Solitude, Mending, and Delta. So I think I'm going to discard Delta Island. Cast an Asmo, play another Tamiyo Meets the Story Circle. Good chance I'll discard the cookbook. We'll see though. Another weird game. If this game goes long, it's obviously good for me with them being on 8 minutes. Oh, they have Wrath Disguise. Guess that explains them not taking it. They have multiple Wrath Disguise and Goryo seems so good. Felt tough to play around the second one. Maybe I was just naive thinking that they wouldn't have it. Tamiyo's like kind of the best draw. I guess I just hard cast Solitude probably. Any brewing of the Green Flare, Cultivation, Carding deck, testing Dingo? Yeah, the deck is now playing Ugin's Labyrinth, Cityscape Leveler, and Emrakul, the Promised End, and 4 Shifting Woodland. It's been good. How did we win that last game? They just couldn't win. I was able to Asmo kill their stuff, and they just decked themselves basically, conceded for time, but they were pretty dead. Is the Tamiyo Sucking something you recently discovered on my radar for a while? I mean, it's been on my radar for a while. I think it's in Spider Space mentioned it in chat. Wait, don't third Wrath Disguise. Do they have 3 or did they draw the one they bought off the Atraxa? I don't know. Go Tamiyo. Someone using Burning Prophet as their version of DRC. Yeah, I guess I'll read Burning Prophet. I don't know why they would cite me as inspiration. I have no idea what this card does. When you cast a spell, scry one. Well, that seems a lot worse than DRC. A little confused. Oh, Popper, Ruby Storm. Popper, I see. Got it. That makes sense. Do you think Rampage the Clans would be good with Story Circle? Doesn't it like search for a creature? That's good game theory. Okay, 6 minutes, 13 seconds on their clock. I don't know how I beat them having 3 Wrath of Skies in their sideboard, so, you know, good for them. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments for each permanent destroyed. Make a 3/3 Centaur token. Doesn't really seem like a plan. I don't know what card I'm thinking of, but it's not into it, I think. Not in the context of Modern. If the card was, like, much cheaper, I'd be in. Let's mulligan. I do like having the Vexing Bauble, but of course that's kind of all that hand had going for it. Keep it back at Emrakul. Yeah, Wrath Disguise is... That card's pretty good against us. We could have let on Saga, maybe. Sideboard copies of Metallic Rebuke for Wrath Nadu. Metallic Rebuke is not good against Wrath or Nadu, or, like, not particularly good. I find it to be usually really funny, this idea of, I'm going to have Metallic Rebuke in the sideboard of my artifact deck like this, and what am I'm going to bring him in against opponents who have spells, you know? Like, if they have spells, I get to bring them in. It's just really not into it. I think usually, typically, like, I would like more targeted counter spells, like the Consign to Memories I have. But like Metallic Rebuke is a very bad card, I think, in general, and like just like on turn 3 having a 1 mana leak is just not that good against that many stuff. Gigantha not worth the mana tampering. I maybe missed that we can play Gigantha in this deck. If we play Gigantha, we should play Gigantha. We can discard it for value. Forgot to perform my routine Gigantha check. Do you ever make the 2/2? I'm going to activate Urza Saga this turn over Clue Token unless they Wrath Disguise. Then I'll sack the Clue. My opponent just discarded Wrath Disguise, so they just like definitely have another one. So maybe I should just sack the Clue. They graveyard another Grief. Sacking the Clue, digging for Goryo seems okay. Yeah, they just have another Wrath Disguise, so I guess there's just not a lot of point in making a construct. Yeah, I'll just get Nihil Spellbomb. Prob Wrath too slow. I can't. They definitely have a second Wrath against me. I have Tamiyo and Urza Saga in play. My opponent is not going to graveyard Wrath the Skies unless they have another one. Yeah, I don't think I'm not even like casting anything here. Why play Cookbook? I think Cookbook is okay because if they go Wrath, I cycle this, and I get it out of their hand. Like if I play Cookbook, they're not gonna Wrath yet, and if I do, they kind of should Wrath. And so I think it's good to like make the Wraths minimum good, if that makes sense. Like this, it's not gonna get any better for us, if that makes sense. But they discard Wrath if they had no second white. They still probably should keep it on top. But also, if my opponent just doesn't have Wrath, maybe this is going to be a game we win anyways. They have a draw step stop here, so we're probably getting ephemerated. If they have Wrath, they're yeah. Oh, okay. So them taking that means they are less likely to have it. Another land. Is it worth it to sack a clue or shock to sack a food? I think not. Probably just keep the food in play. Did not play second cookbook yet. If they grief the second cookbook, I think I'm just okay with it. Because the Emrakul is like still a pretty good card to have in hand. I think you cast Ovalchase next turn. I probably would still just rather draw a card. But maybe. Put it on 3 minutes. They do take the Emrakul. I guess I'm cycling this. Goryo's Vengeance! Goryo's Vengeance, Asmoranomardicadaistinaculdacar, Manufactor, Kappa Cannoneer. All awesome draws. Okay, this was on the list of awesome draws. I guess I discard first and then Kappa. Which is very large, very in charge, and also notably not super duper weak to Wrath the Skies. Two minutes, 40 seconds on our opponent's clock. Archaeologist mill over Atraxa. And Wrath the Skies. Put Wrath the Skies into their hand. Oh no. I think I had to cycle the Nihil Spellbomb. They choose Flooded Strand, Prismatic Ending, Ephemerate, and Atraxa. No Thought Monitor. Yeah, Thought Monitor's like a little bit inconsistent in this deck. If you didn't cycle, you would have had the Kappa be in a worse spot. I don't know if I'd necessarily say it was a worse spot. I think it was good to cycle here, but do I have lethal if I draw Manufactor? I don't think so. Oh, I drew the Nihil Spellbomb again. It's kind of funny. Seems like we need to find an Asmo to have a chance, so let's sack our Spellbomb. Not this time. GG. Yeah, them having a million Wrath the Skies post board is really, really tough for us. My opponent revealed Gigantha. Against Gigantha, I kind of lead on Saga turn 1. It's not, though. It's probably too high a chance that it's not. If it's Prowess or if it's Ruby Storm, then turn 1 Saga I think ends up being better. But if it's Boros or another, like Grixis Shadow, this is obviously better. Yeah, I forgot to do my Giganta check, but we should have a Giganta in this deck. It wouldn't be a very big deal, but you can cast it and you can loot it away for value. Did miss that this was Giganta compatible. Trash for Treasure Archway could have meaningful overlap. Maybe. Maybe. It's just like, I just wish there was something better than like Phyrexian Portal, you know what I mean? Oh, the turn 2, huh? Been a little while. Do I still manage my MH3 tier list after this release? No, I don't know. I think the tier list for me was always mostly just like a good way for me to categorize my thoughts going into brewing. I don't really feel like it was like a really good tool for having conversations about deck lists necessarily. But also just been a little bit too busy to even think very much about it. Too much going on. Maybe Needle for Ral is kind of worth keeping in. I haven't been doing that, but maybe I should do it here. I think I want to cut the Kappa Cannoneers. Just way too slow in the matchup, and then we can bring in a Mite for Ruby, and then click Submit. Consign to Memory is bad against Ruby Storm. Well, maybe it's okay. It's bad against Grapeshot, but it does counter Ruby, and they play a lot of fetch land. Oh, sorry, it doesn't counter fetch land stuff. Yeah, it counters Ruby. It can, you know, it doesn't do nothing, but it's not good. Countering Grapeshot is not a winning line. You broke Modern with the hero deck. The bouncer destroyed this deck. I don't know if I broke Modern, but I don't know. There's a lot of good decks to play. Their format is all over the place. Or if you're talking about Ruby Storm, a lot of like I did not build the only Ruby Storm deck. I was on it pretty early though. Yeah, opponent has spells. Rebuke would be good. Like if Rebuke was good, it would just be a main deck card. This hand's like an Emrakul away from a W, so let's reluctantly keep, I guess. Maybe it's not even exactly a W, huh? Really on the cookbook, I think, over the Tamiyo. It's better if I draw Asmo. I can kill Ral next turn. I don't think I want to cast the Haywire Mite and like, because they just won't play a Ruby if they have it. Consigning a Grapeshot isn't a winning line. $10 says it happens just because that's how it works. $10 says that if I boarded in Consign, I would win the game against Grapeshot because it is exceedingly easy for your Storm opponent to just pass in flames their Grapeshot or wish for a different victory condition. I would say that consigning Grapeshot is actively bad against Storm. It is actively a bad plan. If I was playing Storm, and I have played a lot of Storm, I would be very happy if my opponent was in on that plan. But maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. Consign also stops Static Prison ETB. Yeah, I mean, countering Ruby, countering Static Prison is okay. But I don't know that this is the kind of matchup where you can hold it up super well. But I do get a lot of people say bring in Consign against Storm, counter Grapeshot. This is the plan, but this is not bad plan. Frozen, 39 months. Thank you. Welcome back. How do you pop by? We don't have green mana. I could have fetched for a green mana instead of an Undercity Sewers, but I fetched for Sewers so that I could try to surveil into an answer for this Ral, which I was really scared of. And then we may get Blood Mooned. Yeah, I don't really see a lot of point in playing the Saga into this. Is Storm good or people... Storm is very good. I think Storm is better than Nadu combo, and I think that the top 3 decks in the format are Storm, Nadu combo, and Living End. Um, I think I like Storm a little bit more than I like Nadu. I like Nadu a lot. Nadu's very good. But it's a deck that can win on turn 2 really often, turn on turn 3 very consistently, very good against discard spells, very good against counter spells. And this is a formula for a good deck. So I guess we already have Asmo for Ral, but we can't cast this. What's making the main thing I think that makes Living End good is that it's good against Nadu and it's good against Ruby Storm. That's the main thing that makes Living End a good choice. No Ugin's Lab deck top 3. I think Eldrazi is very, very good. I think the mono green Eldrazi deck I've been playing has been phenomenal. I really, really like it. I would recommend it to anybody. But these usually how well positioned a deck isn't top 3. It's always about popularity, format sculpting, metagame, blah blah blah. But my prediction is that Eldrazi is going to be the best performing deck at the Pro Tour. That's my guess. I'm not sure. Could be very off. But that's my prediction, that Eldrazi is the best performing deck at the Pro Tour. Well, I love that they cast that. What's the Eldrazi deck list? I have a mono green list that I think is very good. You can find it in the Mox field or on Twitter. What's the reason for doing good against Storm? I thought it was turn 1 slower. So it's slower, but it also plays Force of Negation, Grief, and Endurance. And then, so that combination plus a pretty fast clock is a good combo against Storm. I wonder what they wish for here. It does seem like my main out to this is going to be Academy Manufactor. Performing day 2 conversions or overall win rate. Those two things should be very correlated, but I would say I'm just talking about overall win rate, I guess. But should be big correlation, right? All right, they hit Manamorphose, Pyritic Ritual, Reckless Impulse, which is pretty bad. And there's a Passive Flame, so we're dead. Going to match 5. Okay, on the draw. Nadu won't have the highest win rate, but it puts the most in top 25. Yeah, I think that Nadu is going to be the most popular deck at the tournament. I think that I think Nadu will be the number 1 most played deck at the Pro Tour. But I don't predict that it'll have a super good win rate. I think that it'll have a fine results, but nothing too crazy. And I think that some players will have really tuned lists, really good plans, and will end up. I think if Nadu puts 1 to 2 copies in the top 8 is my prediction, with it being the most played deck and having not the highest win rate. But it could also just have it could end up having the highest win rate. But this is my guess. No, don't kill me. Don't hammer me. No. This is going to be a tough one. Do you think a deck's win rate at any major tournaments is inversely proportional to its number of pilots? No. I don't think so. Alright, trying to draw Goryos, I guess. We went 4-1 into 2-2 with mono white. Think Tajuru Preserver will be in Nadu sideboards? It would you should play Dranith Magistrate or Soulless Jailer instead, but I do love a good, or I guess maybe because of All Is Dust and Living End, huh? It would be very cool if it was. I know I would bring it up if I was on a testing team for Nadu. I'd be like, hey, we could play this against Living End and All Is Dust. If the deck won't have a good win rate, why will people play it? ... I didn't say it wouldn't have a good win rate. I don't think it'll have the best win rate, or maybe I said it won't have good, but I don't think it'll have the best win rate. But I think that'll be like I think it'll be very popular, but have a big target on its head. You know, like the non-Nadu decks are going to be like Eldrazi with good plans for Nadu, Wrath the Skies, Flame of Anor decks, Ruby Storm, which is just faster. And so I think a lot of people are going to want to play Nadu, but I just don't think it'll perform that well. But I don't know. You can disagree with dots canister. Okay, now Spellbomb out, Needle out. Cannoneer's out, I think also. Submit button clicked. First Needle's probably still good. Better if they're on the Nadu build. But it's like very common that the most played deck at PTs and RCs don't have the highest win rate. It's like a super duper common thing. I don't know. I guess I could just never tell if Canister's trolling, but it is very common for the most played deck to not have the highest win rate. Some tokens indicate Nadu use. Yeah, I wonder if they have like a plan for coverage or if they're just hoping to raw dog it. You said Mono Green Eldrazi deck was good. Let's look. I mean, we're like 12-1 with that deck. I think that deck is great. 2 trophies with it. Really want to play a tournament with it. Control PTs also comically has higher than normal win rate. Yeah, it's yeah. I forgot to perform my Giganta check here. We should have Giganta. Let's keep this on. Yeah, PT is starting on Friday. Opponent's on a multi 6. Friday Amsterdam time. Yeah, I'm not sure what time it actually starts. I'm going out of town this weekend. I've had like this trip planned for a while. I didn't even realize it was lining up with the PT dates. So I'll be like tuning in on my phone when I have some time. I think the mono white deck is good for Sporus Energy. We did win that matchup today. Not sure. It's pretty good. Oh, they named Asmo. Although I could not activate Asmo were they to name Cookbook. So we'll teach them real quick, and then they probably name Cookbook Game 3. Maybe we can Haywire Mite them. Name Cookbook, y'all. Okay, on the draw for game 3, clicking submit. Didn't your pick top 8 last Pro Tour? Arnie? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't picked like a player to win it. I mean, Arnie would be a good choice again. Let me sleep a little bit on who I predict for the top 8. Or predict to win, I guess. So we keep lead on Cookbook and throw an Emrakul at them on turn 3. Oh yeah, I had a friend text me that Pro Tour decks are due tonight, so I've gotta call a couple friends to help them with the deck list too. How do leagues go with Green Eldrazi? We played one league with Green Eldrazi. We trophied yesterday. The deck seems really gnarly still. I'm very, very, very high on the deck. Isn't Finkel back? Probably an easy pick. I mean, Finkel's very good. I don't know how much modern Finkel plays these days. You know what I mean? But you know, Finkel's very good. Kai's very good. Is Canister cute? I didn't realize Canister was cute. If one Emrakul is not good enough, we'll just throw a second at them. No, that's not true. Canister is very cute. Alright, so now I assume they will have learned their lesson. Maybe they might name Haywire Mite because it's in play. No, they name Cookbook. So I can use Tamiyo meets the Story Circle as alternative discard outlet. Although I will lose if they... Oh, they tutored Cauldra. I guess I should Needle probably their Inkmoth Nexus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't cast Emrakul next turn, can we? We have 1, 2, and then we could put 10 more artifacts into play, but we'd still be 3 mana short of casting the Emrakul. Opponent has foolishly gone down to 14 life, which means they're going to have to block my Emrakul, and I don't know how they're going to do that. Dom would be a pick. Dom's a good pick, yeah. Like, I'm obviously rooting for some of my friends, but Dom would be a really good pick. And then maybe I can become friends with Dom and root for him. All right, -2, -0. Seems fine to chump block here. They do have the Ornithopter, so they're going to have to sack 6 non-Ornithopter permanents here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block here, keep these 2. Alright, I think we just guard just Emrakul. I don't think that they're going to keep their Pithing Needle, but they could keep the Pithing Needle, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. We'll just see what happens. They're going to sacrifice... They're going to chump with the Ornithopter, and then they're going to sack 6 other things. Presumably, they're keeping Stoneforge Mystic and Hammer. Although, I guess they can also pro-colorless the Ornithopter, so the Ornithopter doesn't have to go to the graveyard, but they will have to sacrifice other things. Yeah, Dom... I've talked to Dom a few times. I think I've been on Dom's podcast, but I'm actually not sure. But I know I've only had good interactions with Dom. The opponent's last card in hand should be Cauldra. Here comes the Flare. Flare doesn't stop opponents making you sacrifice things, but boy did I wish it did, because there's a lot of that going on. So I take big hit. And then win the game. Since we know one of their cards is Cauldra, and there's not really like the Can of Solitude. GG's. Yeah, if they just... Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a cookbook in play. I understand they're wanting to keep Paladin or different permanent, but yeah, we would have lost if they kept the Needle. Okay, so 3-2 this league. Might be a good stopping point for today. A little bit shorter than I've been going, but I'm feeling like I need to do like one slightly shorter stream this week to kind of catch up on Decklist and emails and sleep. So I'm going to take it a little bit easier today, and then I'm going to try to do 8 hours tomorrow and Thursday, and then no stream Friday. So,